Hello guys, if you also want to read the mind of any person, then let's start. To read someone's mind, you should know 3 methods. It is very important to learn these methods. By learning these methods, you can easily understand that how are you wondering. So let me tell you a story of Gautam Buddha, which will teach you how to read the minds of others. So, a long time ago, there lived 2 brothers in a small village. The elder brother was blind. Therefore, the elder brother always stayed at home, and the younger brother was engaged in farming. However, there were many animals in the fields, and due to them, the entire agriculture was being ruined. Due to this, the younger brother was facing a lot of trouble. Then one day he thought that why doesn't he take the help of his blind elder brother so that he can drive away the animals from the fields? Because his elder brother was blind, he could scare the animals as soon as he heard them sitting in the fields. In this way, our agriculture could have been saved. After thinking about all this, he built a small hut in his field and kept his blind elder brother in it. The younger brother told him, "Brother, if you hear the sound of any animal, then shout loudly, and the animals will run away from here. This will save our crops." The elder brother will help his younger brother. He agreed with the idea and started sitting in the field. Whenever he heard the sound of any animal, he immediately started shouting loudly and scaring the animals away. They continued this practice for many days. One day, a deer came running into their field. The king noticed the blind brother and asked him if he had seen a deer here. In response, the blind brother said, "I am blind. How can I see a deer? But I can tell you this much, that the animal that has escaped from my farm is not worth your chasing. You are wasting your time." He was shocked by the blind man's words. He wondered how the blind man could say this, that the deer I am looking for is not worth chasing. Then the king said to the blind man, "Are you not lying to me? On one hand, you say that you are blind, and on the other hand, you claim that the animal which runs away from here." Then the blind brother said, "O king, that creature which you are thinking of as a deer is not actually a deer, it is a female deer. And as per my knowledge, she is pregnant. I've never heard that the king hunts a pregnant female deer, so I'm telling you that she is not worth pursuing for you. You should not waste your time in chasing her." The king was even more surprised to hear this. He did not understand that the blind. How can one know that she is a pregnant female deer, he thought. How can a blind know with such confidence whether the deer I am hunting is pregnant or not? How can this amazing blind tell with so much confidence? Investigation has to be done, so the king decided to know the truth and said to his commander, "Commander, I want that creature to remain alive, because I have to investigate whether it is really a pregnant female deer. This blind man is saying this with so much confidence, and I want this. Make sure to go and check whether it is a pregnant female deer." On the king's orders, the commanders went to address the deer. After some time, when they returned, they told the king that the blind man is completely right. The king was surprised to hear that there was indeed a pregnant female deer. He could not understand how this blind man could know that she was a pregnant female deer. Many questions arose in the king's mind. Finally, the king decided to compromise completely on this matter and said to the blind man, "Listen, I don't know whether you are really blind or not, but I have come to ask you a question. Can you answer my question correctly?" In response, the blind man said, "King, whatever you want to ask me, I will answer you truthfully." The king said, "Look, on one hand you say that you are blind, and on the other hand you told me that I was the animal we were chasing. You know that she is a pregnant female deer, and along with that you also find out when the animals come and go from your fields. How did you guess all this?" Then the blind man explained, "Sir, when you were following that female deer, so from its speed and running sound I had already understood that it is a deer. And the dam of my farm was quite small, its height was not much. If it was a normal deer, then it could have easily crossed that dam. But the deer had broken the dam and ran away, and if she had tried to cross the dam, her child would have been in danger, so I understood that she was pregnant. Hearing this explanation, the king was shocked to see the special knowledge and skill of the blind man. He understands that this person experiences, despite being blind, the king is blessed with information and abilities. The king decides to take advantage of this and asks the blind man another question. The king says that you are intelligent and you seem to have a deep understanding of many things. Today, I have called you here so that I can know whether my wife is whether you are a believer or not. The blind man answers, "O king, what kind of a question is this? Your marriage has been going on for many years and now you want to know such things. Why are such questions arising in your mind?" However, the king tells you to answer this question. You will have to answer. If you do not answer me, I will punish you with death. Hearing the king's threat, the blind man says, "Very good. I will answer your question. O king, if you want the answer to this question, then you should do me a service." Hogi Raja asks, "Tell me, what do I have to do?" The person replies, "For that you will have to leave your wife alone with me in a room." Hearing this, he gets angry at first, but after thinking for some time, he agrees with the person and orders his wife to be sent to a room with him. The commander executes him and leaves the blind man and the queen alone in a room. At that time, the blind man says, "I want to touch you." On hearing this, the queen is very upset. She becomes angry and starts beating the blind man, sometimes with her hands, sometimes with her feet, and sometimes with all her strength. She beats him very brutally. Later, somehow the blind man saves his life and goes to the king, said, "O king, your wife is not a believer." On hearing this, the king got very angry and took out his sword and went straight to his wife. He said angrily to her, "Queen, today I will ask you a question and you will have to answer truthfully if you answered falsely." When he said, "I will immediately cut off your head," he asked me, "Tell me, are you a believer or not?" On this, the queen said, "O king, you kill me, but I am not a believer." The king was very happy because everything that the blind man had said came true. On hearing this, the king immediately goes to the blind man and asks, "How did you know that my wife is not a believer?" The blind man replies, "O king, it is quite simple. I told your wife that I wanted to touch her, and she became so angry that she started hitting me. How can a faithful woman touch another man? When I told her that I wanted to touch her, she could have refused me, but she started hitting me, and in the process, she destroyed my entire body." Touch the body. Now you tell me, how can such a woman be a believer? King says you are very intelligent. Okay, then let's move ahead. After that, he says loudly, "Answer one more question correctly, and I will leave you from here." Dunga, the king then asks, "Tell me, am I really my father's son or someone else's?" To this, the blind man replies, "O king, what does it have to do with you? No matter who your parents are, if you are the king of this kingdom, then this is the question." But the king insists, "No, no, no, I need the exact answer to this question. Otherwise, this question will always haunt me, so I want to know the truth. If you give the right answer, I will let you go from here." The blind man replies, "O my king, to answer this question, you will have to. There is no need to go to mother. I can tell right now whose child you are, but before that, I want you to promise me that you will not get angry with me." The king says, "Yes, I promise that I will not get angry then." The man replies, "O king, I do not need to tell you that you are indeed your father's child. Let me tell you now that you are my master, the king and the son of God. I promise that I will not be angry with you then, the blind king. It says that you are really your father's child, but you are also in the shadow of a miser businessman." On hearing this, the king becomes very happy and immediately goes to his mother and says to her, "Mother, please tell me the truth. Am I really my father? Am I the child of a father or someone else?" If you don't tell me the truth, I will give up my life right here. Tell me the truth. What is the king's mother saying? Son, you are really your father's child, but you are also in the shadow of a miser businessman. When, after taking bath, I was looking as per my need, then I saw the shadow of a miser businessman on you. On hearing this, the king becomes very happy and immediately returns to the blind man and asks him, "How did you know that the shadow of a miser businessman was on me?" The blind man answers, "O king, you asked me many questions, and I have given correct answers to all of them. If you were any other king, I would have received many rewards by now, but you have not given me anything. I have not taken even a single penny till now. I guessed that you are very stingy." Hearing this, the king laughs and says, "I will definitely give you whatever you ask. But tell me, how do you know what is right and what is wrong, and how can you give such accurate and flawless answers, blind man?" He says, "O king, I am naturally blind. If I had eyes, I could easily understand someone's thoughts. The mind has its own language, and this language can be understood by looking at the actions of someone's body, the work of a person's eyes, lips. We can understand someone's thoughts based on what is going on in his mind by looking at the way he acts and his movement patterns, but I am blind, so I have to know through actions if I want to know something. So I have to hand over the task to the next person. I have to see how he works, and based on that, I can understand what is going on in his mind." Hearing this, the king asks, "Does that mean I can also listen to someone's ideas?" On this, the blind man says that of course you can also understand someone's thoughts, but for that you will have to work on your soul first. And that work is to calm your mentality and bring your mentality to the present. For this today, I will tell you 3 ways. And these 3 ways are very simple and easy. But before that, you have to do one thing: concentration on your mentality. Concentration can understand the thoughts of others because that person is currently thinking, and we also have to change our mentality. We have to bring in the present. Only then we can understand their thoughts. If we are thinking about the past events, then how will we know what the other person is thinking in the present? Because we are wrapped up in the past events. So to understand someone's thoughts, most to know. First, we need to concentrate our mentality. After that, this person says to the king, "King, I will definitely tell you 3 ways by which you can easily understand someone's thoughts." After this, the blind man says to the king, "King, the first way is to pay attention to the eyes and talk to someone. The most important thing is that we look into his eyes, because eyes do not speak, but they say a lot. If we learn to understand the signals in that person's eyes, then we can know what is going on in their mind. I don't have my own eyes, but I learned this skill many years ago from dear Gautam Buddha. He was my teacher and guide. At that time I had eyes, and I could just see people's thoughts through their eyes. That's why if you also want to know the thoughts of others, then you should focus on their eyes, such as where their gaze is looking and in which direction. If when you are talking to them, their eyes are moving here and there. If the person is looking away, it means they are looking for a way to avoid the conversation, and someone is probably lying. If the person is making direct eye contact, it means they are afraid that their lie may be revealed, and you will know the truth. But if his eyes are looking at you without moving, then he is probably being honest, and he wants to talk to you and share his thoughts. Also see how his eyebrow is moving if he looks away. If his eyebrows go down, then he is probably thinking about something or worried about something else. If his eyebrows go up and his eyes get big, then he may be surprised or curious enough to even know about your thoughts. See whether his capital is so big or small. Capital is the black part of the eye. If the capital is big, then it means that if the capital is big, then it means that he likes you or is liking what you say. Excited or happy. If the capital is small, it means they don't like you or aren't liking what you have to say. They are uncomfortable or angry. Also notice how red or how white the whites of their eyes are. The white part of the eye is called the sclera. If the sclera is red, it means he may have a tired system or be sick. He may not want to talk to you. I remember a time when I met a tired man who was traveling. When we were talking, his eyes kept wandering a lot and never looking at me. This showed that he was worried and wanted to leave quickly. I thought he might be hiding something. He didn't want to talk to me. I wanted to, so I asked him more questions. I found out that he had a secret plan. Similarly, there are other facial expressions of emotion that can help us easily understand a person's thoughts. Sometimes a person shows her facial expressions. If you pay attention to someone's facial expression, then you can easily understand whether that person is disappointed, very sad, or very happy. You can also understand how he is feeling inside. And all these things can be ascertained through the expression of his face. O King, face like a picture, which shows how people are feeling inside. If they don't say anything, then if you want to understand people better, then you have to pay attention to these silent signs. When you see someone whose mouth is turned downwards, and if the little one makes a sad face, then it usually means that he is not happy, not satisfied, or has lost something. You can also understand from his eyes and his body how he is feeling. He is feeling lower emotions. On the other hand, when there is a big and genuine smile that lifts the eyes and cheeks, that happiness is a sign of friendliness and kindness. The eyes have great importance in this. When they are small and bright, you can be sure that the smile is genuine. Have a look at a person's fetal spot where the skin is deep and loose. When it is deep and tight, it often means they are feeling confused or trying to understand something difficult or new. The mouth can tell us a lot. A mouth that is closed and compressed may mean that he or she does not agree, is not satisfied with something, or does not want to have a conversation. But a mouth that is open and relaxed may mean that when you become adept at seeing and understanding these facial cues, you can tell what people are thinking about and how they are feeling, whether they are expressing their emotions or not. Whether you speak outside or remain silent, everything will be clear from their face. So no matter how a person speaks with his words, you can understand everything from his face. Let me tell you a story. Once I met a sad person who asked for my help. Came, but he was behaving as if he didn't care, but I saw a small line on his forehead which showed that he had a problem. I asked him to tell me his problem, and he did. After that, he felt good. And a genuine, helpful smile also makes the eyes happy. This means they are happy and kind. A sad frown goes down, which means they are worried or confused. The eyebrows go up when they are surprised or curious. Then you can understand their feelings by looking at their faces. Moving forward, the person tells the king about the third method, saying, "O king, there is another language too, which is the hand gestures and body language of someone's thoughts." To understand, we should understand hand gestures and body language. When a person talks, you must have noticed that he keeps moving his hands all the time, making gestures. Apart from words, his body language also plays a big role. Body and hands can say a lot without words. It's a secret way of communicating like words, where you can see what people want and how they are feeling. By the little things they do. Pay attention to someone when he taps his fingers rapidly while talking to you. When fingers make rapid sound on something, it could mean that he is getting bored or want to end the conversation quickly. I remember a time when I met a man who wanted to sell me something, and he made this gesture. I knew that he was nervous, so I asked him to buy at a better price, and he was surprised. Sometimes seeing someone folding their arms can mean that they are not satisfied with you or what you have to say. They are expressing their thoughts to you. The way they fold their arms in this way is like keeping their thoughts and feelings safe from others. Seeing this sign can help you be kind and cautious when you talk to them, so that they meet you with a more satisfied and more open mind. Sometimes seeing a person leaning in may mean that they are interested in you or what you are saying. They are listening carefully to what you are saying, which means that they are interested in you and want to know more. This way of moving his body shows that he wants to listen, learn, and understand what you are saying. I met a wise teacher who did this. He was very quiet, but he kept leaning forward with interest, which showed that he was interested. Wanted to know more about that topic. Sometimes people have a habit of touching their face while talking to you, so you can tell what they are thinking about. This often means that they are worried or thinking. These are all touching ways of showing what's going on in their mind and heart. To truly understand others through their bodies and hands, you have to be patient, watch carefully, and appreciate the things they don't. These small but important signs, like a quiet book, show you the feelings and thoughts that are hidden in them and help you connect with them better. If we pay attention to these 3 ways and understand them properly, we can quickly find out what is going on in someone's mind by how attentively they are listening to us and what is happening in their mind. But before this, you have to bring your mind into focus and bring it to the present. You can pay attention to all these actions to understand them and feel what is going on in their mind. Otherwise, if you are engrossed in past events or future plans, you will never pay attention to the person's body language. And you will never be able to understand what is going on in their mind, what they are thinking. You must have seen many great saints and wise persons who look at you calmly and can tell you what is going on in your mind. What have they learned? And the biggest reason is that they can read. You can understand you because their mind is peaceful, so they can easily understand your thoughts. I hope you have enjoyed the story so far, and it must have learned something new. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more great content.